Hello, my dear joshful, energetic students preparing for NSCP exam, JEE exam, NEET exam, or students who are not even preparing for exam and they're passionate about physics. So, welcome to Vedantu Olympiad classes where we make things very, very simple. Now, what is this series about? This series actually is about challenging a few things. What I mean by that is, see, for ages, a few concepts have been taught in a certain manner. And I learned it this way, I'll teach it this way, and we just pass on from generations to generations. But sometimes when you challenge those methodologies and try to make things simpler, they are more intuitive. And this series is more about simplifying the things that we have been studying so far. The things were not taught wrong, they were taught wrongly. So the information was right, it was just passed on in a different, wrong way, maybe, right? So my name is Bhavdeep Sethi, and I have been teaching physics for a long time, and I have converted a lot of physics haters into physics lovers. And I always believe that nature is the best teacher out there. You go out in the nature, explore nature, you will learn physics in the best way. So today we are going to talk about how schools are teaching physics all wrong. It's not like everything is being taught wrong, but few things I really think they should have been taught in a different manner when I was a kid. When I was exposed to a few concepts and they didn't really make sense at the first look, I tried to challenge them to the teacher and I was obviously scolded. And that's when I took the pledge that when I become a teacher one day, I'm going to maybe teach in a different manner. Now, coming to the point here, these are three very, very famous equations. I don't have to explain them to you. This is F equals ma, V equals IR, where voltage and current, this V is the velocity of wave, equals F lambda. Very intuitive, very useful, and used a lot, right? But I always challenged them when I learned it in a certain manner. I was told F equals ma, and I said, don't understand that. And I'll tell you why. Because they don't fit well with the conventions that we have created. See, academicians have created certain conventions, and these don't fit into those conventions. Let's first talk about what convention I'm talking about. See, let's take a very simple example of a function. Let's say I'm writing y is equal to something. I'm not even thinking when I'm writing 2x square plus 3.5x. As I said, I'm not even thinking, I'm just writing that. So I'm saying y is equal to 2x square plus 3.5x. Simple equation. And what does this tell me? That whatever value of x I choose, let's say I choose 1, I can plug it in here and I'll get the value of y. It's function. Function is more like function has certain inputs, one or more inputs, and it will give me output, right? That's what the function actually means. Function is a machine. It takes one or more inputs and it gives out only one output there. This is the output. This is the input. X is the input. So in this case, in this example, X is the input, the value of X, and the output is I'll get the value of Y. So I plug in X as 1, 1, 1, and then I get value as 5.5. Similarly, I can plug in value of X as 1.35, negative 2.95, whatever. I can send input here. Input is what I control. Output is what function controls, right? So there is a convention to use this Cartesian system where I put the independent variable as in the input variable here. And here I put the output variable, and that is why I say y is a function of x, because it's a function of x. I choose x, based on that x, value of y will be given to me, and that's how we write it. This is a convention. There's nothing natural to it. Upperwala did not give this to us. So there are different things. There are laws of nature. Upperwala said this will fall down. That's nature. But calling that, calling that as acceleration due to gravity and using the symbol g, it's all man-made convention. We have made a convention. I'll call it as g. Upperwala didn't say. Upperwala said, okay, it is going to fall down. So similarly, this is all man-made conventions. But once you make convention, you have to stick to it, right? So the convention is independent variable here, dependent here. So on the left hand side, you have dependent variable that you will get after calculations. On the right hand side, you get something that you provide input as. Now coming back to those famous equations, let's start with F equals ma. Very, very confusing out there. What does this look like? To me, it looks like this is independent variable on the right hand side and dependent on the left hand side. So are we saying F force is a function of acceleration? Really? I'm controlling acceleration. There is a box out here. It has a mass of m. Am I controlling acceleration or am I controlling the force? I'm controlling the force, my dear friends. I am controlling the force. And whatever force I apply, based on that, this box will get an acceleration. So doesn't this like go the other way around? We have made this convention, then we are not following the convention. This is what confused me. Shouldn't this be written? Are we saying f is a function of a? No. Actually, a is a function of f and it is equal to f over mass. Now this makes more sense. On the right hand side, we have something that I control, something that I have input to that machine, that is f. And based on that value of f, I am getting the acceleration value. Whatever force I apply, that controls a. So this is what the function should look like. It should be, okay, I'm providing f here. On the y-axis, it should be a as a function of f. Now, some of you might say, what is the big deal? I mean, what are we learning here? Are we learning elementary school mathematics where we are learning cross multiplication? Everybody knows this is the equation. It works well. If I know force, I can plug it in here. If I know mass, I can plug it in here. Take this here, I can get acceleration. We are not talking about the calculations here. We are talking about the methodology to understand this. This doesn't fit into the intuition. This fits now. Trust me, think about it. This fits into the intuition part. This actually works. It says, okay, acceleration is a function of force. Let's take another example. This will be more bigger, higher reason to discard this formula. V equals IR. What are we talking about? Are we saying we will provide the current and based on that the voltage will be decided? What are you saying? I mean, we give the input as voltages. We plug in one battery, two battery, 3.95 batteries. We put the batteries, we control the voltages. Based on that, there is a current flow. But this is the other way around. It looks like this is the independent variable. And trust me, students, I have dealt with so many students, and many of them are confused because in your exams you might have noticed, कभी वो ऐसे बना देते हैं, कभी वो ऐसे बना देते हैं. And now the students are confused by iska slope is giving me resistance, ke 1 by slope is giving the resistance. If you can relate to this problem and confusion, give me a thumbs up to this video and write in the comment box, write in the messages here that yes, you can relate to the confusion. Maybe not you, maybe your classmates. You have seen those classmates getting confused. They just memorize. Okay, iska slope will give the resistance, iska 1 by slope will give the resistance. क्यों यार क्यों confuse कर रहे हो? Why don't you just stick to this simple convention? When I say you, as in the textbook makers, the question makers, the teachers, ये क्या कर रहे हो यार? The independent variable is voltage, so I should be rewriting this. This really doesn't make sense to me. This is a function of voltage, and this is V by R. Now this makes so much of sense. This makes so much of sense. Because now voltage is the independent variable. Let me use another color for this. I would rather cross it out. This doesn't really make sense to me. This makes sense that the voltage is something I control and I get the current based on that. Current is a function of voltage. And also think about it, isn't it more intuitive now to understand? We are saying current is dependent on voltage. More the voltage, more the current. होना भी चाहिए. More the batteries, more the current. More the resistance, less the current, or होना भी चाहिए. Because if you're applying, if you're resisting the flow of current, it will be reduced. This is really the right way to write the Ohm's law. ये नहीं make sense नहीं करता. I'm just challenging the conventions. If the conventions were written the other way, yes, this is. If you're making these conventions, stick to them. Okay, another great example of confusion here. V equals F lambda. What are we even talking about? Let's take the light as the wave. Light is a wave. Light has the velocity of 3 times 10 to the power 8 meters per second in vacuum. लाल color है, नीला color है, doesn't matter. पीला कलर है कौन सा ऑरेंज है डजेंट मैटर वेलोसिटी ऑफ लाइट इज सिंपली फिक्स्ड इन वैक्यूम 3 × 10⁻⁸मीटर पर सेकेंड तो क्या बोल रहे हो यार ये कांस्टेंट यहां दो वेरिएबल क्या कर रहे हो क्यों कितना कंफ्यूज करोगे भाई इजंट दिस कंफ्यूजिंग भाई ये कांस्टेंट दो वेरिएबल इधर क्या कर रहे हो तो not you the teachers the books okay so the color of light depends on the frequency अगर मेरे को लाल कलर की लाइट चाहिए particular shade of red I need a certain frequency so I choose a color and that should be deciding the wavelength what is my control parameter here I'm saying नीली लाइट चाहिए लाल लाइट चाहिए so this is my independent variable f so this equation should be rather written as I'll use white color here so lambda which is a function of f is velocity over frequency. Now this makes so much of sense कि भाई velocity constant है उसमें more the frequency less the wavelength less the frequency more the wavelength this is making so much of sense this equation does not follow the conventions and that is why this confuses see I'm not challenging the concepts here perfect equation 100% right 100% right 100% right and we can use it I'm not saying they are useless they are useful if I know the frequency, I can plug in velocity, frequency, cross multiply, do that. But all I'm challenging is the intuitive part, the intuition part is missing. As soon as I write this, I get more intuition here. I'm saying voltage controls the current. इधर लग रहा current controls the voltage क्या हो रहा है इधर क्या हो रहा है मतलब दो variables multiply and give a constant अरे write it in this manner so anyways, like if you're not confused now, if you're happy like this student, then like subscribe to this video. And again, students, just I'm not challenging any teachers here. I'm not challenging any books here. I'm just saying, but things have to be simplified. That's it. If you simplify, students will fall in love with physics, and that's one reason I became teacher. Because when I was a student and I was challenging these things to my teachers, they actually scolded me. है ना व्हेन आई चैलेंज कि भाई ये कैसे क्यों नहीं लिखते भाई तू आइंस्टाइन है बैठ जा है ना सो आई वाज गेटिंग स्कोल्डिंग्स एंड आई वाज रियली आई प्लेज्ड दोस डेज कि भाई आई विल बिकम अ टीचर एंड make things easy for my students and I will not scold them when they're asking questions. Questions may be genuine, they may be silly, but silly questions also are good. So I never scold my students for asking any questions, and that's part of the reason why I am a teacher now. Okay, so by the way, we have started this course of NSCP Achievers Final Lab. This is for students who are preparing or appearing for 24th of November 2024 NSCP exam. So it started on 4th of November. There are 15 classes क्योंकि 3 weeks है Monday through Friday 1.5 hours की class 6 से 7:30 where we only solve PYQs. We do previous year question papers 10 roughly 10 questions on a particular topic and then after the class you get the assignment and on each weekend 3 papers full test papers you'll get and by the way the price is 2222 but you can apply this 10% discount so it will come down to 1999 we are not going to cover any theory it's only for practice of PYQs but this is the last practice I mean this is the make it or break it wala time कि भाई you practice more and more and prepare and go give your best out there by the way if you're preparing for the longer term like giving exam next year then there is a full physics mastery course 2025 class is already started it is divided into 5 modules each module is 2500 rupees so 12,500 but because 2 modules are over so what you do is you pay for third fourth and fifth 3 modules which is 3 times 2500 7500 and you will get the first 2 modules recordings for free and by the way you can still apply this coupon here so it is 7500 minus 750 that is 6750 rupees you get 3 live modules and 2 recorded modules and you can join it and these are the modules here now by the way many students ask me what is the prerequisite is your josh commitment willingness energy and determination those are the prerequisites trigonometry nahi aata aa jao koi baat nahi I'll teach you everything now we have been getting a lot of medals these are Vedantu Olympiad school students who have been studying in these classes and they got gold medals silver medals and one day I would like to see your pictures here so again Keep up the high Josh, students. Thank you so much. I will see you soon. Bye bye.